Hey sewing friends, happy almost summer. So it's kind of become a little tradition here that at the start of every season, or before we go into the next season rather, I try to look at a specific garment type and then give some differing examples of different patterns that are out there and different ways that they could be either like styled up or sewn up depending on fabrics. So back in the fall, we looked at statement skirts, so skirts that all have something like a little bit special about them. And then we looked at blouses in the spring. And now coming into summer, I want to look at sewing up a new sundress pattern. So I have my go-tos. The Lockhart and the Reynolds, both by Helen's Closet, are two of my favorite sundresses. This one here is the Wearable Studio Heidi dress, which is a retired pattern now, but I have made those a whole bunch of times, absolutely love them, but I'm wanting to branch out a little bit. So I thought I would take you along with me into kind of some of my like nerdy pattern research brain and do a little compare, a little contrast. I've pulled some fabrics from my stash that would all work for, I think, the kinds of patterns that we're looking at, but are also could be more of like a wearable toile. I have some like precious fabrics that I do want to sew up this summer, but I will not be cutting directly into them without at least doing a little trial garment. So that's what this stack is for, and we will go through these 7 summer sundresses that I've picked out. So I set myself with 3 points of criteria. So the first one, just trying to kind of nail down what is a very subjective definition. What is a sundress? And to me, it is a woven dress that is sleeveless. So the silhouette or the length can definitely vary, but to me, it definitely needs to be made out of a woven fabric and doesn't cover the shoulders. So no sleeves, whether it's like straps, spaghetti straps, or just like, yeah, your standard shoulder, just nothing covering the arms. So that is what I'm going with for a definition of silhouette or definition of sundress. The silhouette can change. The ones that I picked to look at are something with a fit and flare that has a sheared back. I'm looking at this because that's my like reference point. A smock dress, a Basque waist dress, so where it has like that kind of lowered V at the waistline. I really love that shape, very intrigued by that. A bias cut dress, a shirt dress, a shift dress, which is one of my favorite things to wear in the summertime. And then lastly, like a little drawstring dress. So my categories might be a little bit influenced by the ones that kind of rose to the top as my favorites that I'm most excited to play around with this season. But yeah, those are the ones that I have gone with. So that was the first point of category is, what is a sundress? Many different types. We will get into that. The second one is about patterns themselves, and that is size inclusivity. I'm not going to buy a pattern. It's 2026. If your size chart doesn't go to 60 inches on the hip, like, what are you doing? Similarly, I will give some flex, but if you don't include bust cups, at least in your plus sizes, that's probably a no for me, but there are exceptions. That one I will give a little wiggle room, but definitely got to go to a 60-inch hip for the size chart. And then the last point of criteria is something just for me, is can I make it either, is it in the pattern or can I adapt the pattern to have some flexibility in it? So I don't really have any interest in wearing super fitted, tight garments generally, but especially not in the summertime. So I definitely like grow and shrink throughout the day, throughout the season, across the years. So I really want my clothing to have some flex built in, either with like elastic or a wrap. Even bias cut can like offer that kind of give to it. Something in there. I suppose making it out of a stretch fabric is also a possibility, but for my for the pattern, that's a criteria, but definitely for the overall make, I gotta have a little flex. So first up is a fit and flare dress that has a sheared or elastic panel at the back to give it some give, a little bit more movement, something that's going to flow and flex with my body on the day-to-day, but also hopefully like seasonally as well. So there are several of these out there that I think are super, super cute. I know that Sew Over It has one that's really popular. Patterns for Pirates has one that I recently found out about with like these really cute like gathers in the hip area. But the one that I happen to already have in my stash, I thought I was going to make it last year for a wedding, is the Cinnamon Daisy Studio Poppy dress. And I've seen so many amazing versions of this. It's super, super cute. And what makes it really unique is that the front is shaped with a horizontal seam here, and it comes in several bust cup sizes with lots of instructions in the tutorial and the instructions on how to fit that, to toile it, to get a really nice, fairly fitted fit across the bust with just that one curved seam. And then at the back, of course, you've got lots of flex from that shearing panel. So it's going to be pulled quite tight here, but then you've got a lot of flexibility. You have a nice little waistband that again connects to that back panel, so it's not going to be like tight or digging in. And then a really full, big gathered skirt. I've seen so many amazing versions of this. I definitely had some Poppy FOMO last year, and this year I want to see about making one up. So I think they're really, really cute, really, really fun. And I have picked a cotton poplin from my stash. I think a cotton poplin is a really good starting point for a fabric or for a pattern like this, because you need some structure for that bust part particularly. And because anything that has like shearing or stretch in one place but not another is going to put some tension on your seams. So where that sheared panel connects to the rest of the dress, where all of these like, yeah, this is I think it's princess seams like through the waist as well. All of those are going to take a bit extra stress than a normal fitted garment because you have that element of stretch in there. So something with a really nice tight weave will work really nicely for that. I also think this is going to hold the gathers of the skirt really nicely. I think it'd be really cute as like a fun mini garden party dress for summertime with this bright green and blue floral. Now, I got this from a friend who was destashing it, and there's quite a lot here. So I think even if I like end up messing up needing to do a part over, I will still have enough of this one, and I won't be like super heartbroken if it's more of a learning experience than a piece that goes into my wardrobe. But I do think it's a good match for this pattern. And again, the pattern is so cute, so unique with that horizontal seam, really cute and fitted, and then a big skirt, little straps. So yeah, that is the Poppy dress and what I'm thinking for my fit and flare with a little flexibility in there. This next silhouette I'm calling a smock dress, but I'm not sure if that's like entirely accurate. You can let me know where it falls to you. But I'm looking at a dress that is going to be like straight from the shoulders, not fitted at the waist, but maybe cropped a little bit higher, and then has one or more like big gathered panels on it. So for this one, I am so enamored by the Azure or Azure dress from Closet Core. Yeah, it's very just like plain front. It's got bust darts for shaping with 2 bust cup options in their like, I'm not sure how they refer to it. I think it's like 0 to 20 and then like a 14 to 30 size range. So that's really nice. It's got a bit of extra length, I believe, for the larger range. So it's not gonna like lift up, which is always my problem with these kinds of dresses. And of course, the thing that makes it very special is that the tiers for the gathered skirt, they're all at like different angles, and with the very asymmetrical like diagonal lines, I think it is really eye-catching. I think it's really, really fun. I love the way that it plays with volume, especially in the longer length. I can definitely imagine like just throwing this over and going for a walk on the beach and having it like billow behind me. It sounds wonderful. It does also come as like separates, as separates. It comes as separates. You can make just like a little crop top and then a skirt. The skirt has different lengths to it, so it's very customizable. In that sense, I think it is a really good value for the pattern. I don't have it, so I haven't like looked at all of the instructions yet, but I've really had great luck with closet core instructions. So it's definitely on my list. And this is one that I would also want to have in a cotton. I think it would work in something drapier like a viscose, but it would be more like column-like. Whereas I think a lightweight linen or a cotton like this one is more of like a batiste or a voile. It's very, very light and thin. Oh, is that that's the back side. Okay. Yeah, so here you can kind of see it a little bit more. Yeah, it's not entirely opaque, but I think with all of those gathers and all the different lines crossing through, I don't mind that it would be a bit more sheer. So this is such a great weight to me for all those gathers. Like, it's going to hold the structure. It's got a really nice airiness that is going to it's going to breathe a little bit, I think. I love viscose. I love gathers in viscose, but they do end up very weighted down, which can be cool. But I think for this, having that very airy, billowy structure of this kind of cotton would be really, really nice. I don't really love wearing dark colors like this in the spring and early summer, but at the height of summer, going into fall, these brown sunflowers I think would be really, really fun. I love them. I got this fabric several years ago now at a market. You can see where I took a chunk to do a little burn test, and it is 100% cotton. It's not the softest cotton there ever was, but I do really love how thin it is. Again, how it's got an airiness, it's got that structure to it. So I think that'll be really great in the gathers of the Azure dress from Closet Core. So a silhouette that I have been loving, but I have not tried for myself yet, is this dropped waist or Basque waist dress where, yeah, it extends the waistline down and then usually comes into some kind of curve at the center. So either a full center V or just kind of a soft, kind of mimics corsetry detailing. And I love it. And I especially love it when there's gathers along that V line. I think it is really, really fun. I think it's a cool way to bring in maybe some medieval inspiration, some fantasy inspiration that's still a cool modern garment. I really like that kind of mashup. Now, the pattern that I really, really love that stole my heart for this category is the Perlines Sailaway dress. I think it is super, super cute. It's not the most practical for me, I think. For one, these princess seams don't come with any bust cup options. I think I would have all of her patterns if they had bust cup options. I think she is a really, really talented designer. I love her looks. I think her marketing is really great. I really like her brand. It is size inclusive, but yeah, having to do a bust adjustment on every pattern does kind of put me off a little bit in the practicality of it. And this one in particular, it's princess seams. It's also a very high neck, so getting the fit for me good around the high bust is also a bit of a challenge. And this one is also somewhat backless. So I think it is so cool how it's got the high neckline. It comes around in straps and it has this little whirly tie detail. It's so cute. It's really, really fun. I think this would look so cute on me. I have a long torso and short legs, comparatively, and I think this silhouette, well, it could go one of two ways. It could either be very harmonious, look really good proportionally, or I might just look like Lord Farquaad. I might just look like berries and cream little boy, but I want to try it. I do want to try it. A more accessible option for me that does have bust cups, that does have a back on it, so I can I don't mind showing my bra straps, but I do mind showing the big wide width of my band in the back. So for some more coverage and bust cups, the Seamwork Emma dress is probably what I'm going to go for. It doesn't have the gathers in the skirt, and the Basque waist is a lot smoother. It still has the curve, but it's not that fresh, sharp point. But I think it's a good jumping off point for me. So I could either hack it to be a little bit more like the Le Perlin one, or just to try it out and see how it looks. So the Emma dress has princess seams also with multiple bust cups. These princess seams also have more panels, which is more opportunity for taking it in, letting it out in different places to really nail the fit there rather than like one big curve just at the side. So that's really great. It has a faux corset at the back, which is very, very cute. It's just a little detail. The actual closure is a side zip. Now, this would probably not be on its own. It would be a little too fitted for me if I was making it in a regular woven fabric, but I do have this stretch woven linen. I got this last year. I pre-washed it and it's a little bit tangly, but I want to open it up so you can see how much stretch it has, because it's, I believe it was 97% linen and 3% elastane, but like, that is so great. It's got a really nice amount of structure, which the Emma dress needs. It can even be made in quilting cotton, was one of the big like selling points when it came out. You can definitely use it for apparel cotton or apparel fabrics, viscose, tencel, like those things will still work with that really swishy skirt. But for the bodice, like going for something really structured is going to be a bit easier. And so I think this is like the perfect amount of, it's going to give me a little bit of give width-wise, but we'll still hold its structure, yeah, pretty well. So I think this would be a really cute one for the Emma dress. And then if I like it, I could see about maybe hacking the pattern a little bit to more resemble the Sailaway dress in the future, but this will be a good starting point for now. I wouldn't have thought to put a bias cut dress under the umbrella of a sundress until I saw the Ella by Pattern Scout. Now, I have also just been wanting to make a bias cut dress for a while now, so it, you know, is it shoehorned into this list? Like maybe a little bit, but the Ella is super, super cute. I like that it's not super fancy. It's not this like really delicate, strappy evening kind of thing, even though it could be. I think it could be used for evening wear, but I really, really love the samples that Casey of Pattern Scout has put forth. Some of them are just like everyday linen or cotton, but then there are those like more special like rayon or silk tencel kind of pieces. And I think it's really, really cute. I like, again, that it's not just like a flimsy, strappy situation. It has this really pretty open boat neck with like pretty reasonable coverage on the shoulders, and it can be made in lots of different lengths. It also has options to be made in like just on the straight grain if you want something a little bit more boxy, or if you want to really lean into the fluidity of your fabric and have it be a bit more, yeah, like cascading, figure hugging. So I really like that there's those options. It comes with bust cups as well, which I think is really great. That's one of the things I really love about her patterns. I think her pattern drafting is so, so good. I've never been let down in that area by any of her patterns. I will say I have come to expect a bit more from finishing. The finishing in her patterns tends to be more in line with a lot of ready to wear stuff. So it's a bit more of like a fast and easy one where I'd like a little bit more elevation there. And so I have some concerns about making my first bias cut garment in a pattern that I don't believe will like really hold my hand through finishing a finicky fabric cut on the bias in that way. If you've made this, please let me know. Maybe I'm totally wrong. Maybe she's like very detailed and maybe the finishing is all like chef's kiss. I don't know. That is my suspicion from having made several of her other patterns in the past. So you can let me know, correct me if I'm wrong. I pulled this viscose crepe from my stash, and I'm not sure if I'd want to use it for this project because I have a lot of it, but I do think it would be really beautiful. It is, again, like a little bit dark for summer, but I'm thinking if I'm like going out, for a summer evening, this would be really, really pretty. That nice wide boat neck. I think it could also like dress down really easily with like a denim jacket and maybe some like chunkier shoes, as I am more tend to wear in the summertime. So I think this could be really cute for every day, but also could dress up really nicely, yeah, for going out. So this is on my maybe. I really, really love the silhouette, but I think I might need to dive into the pattern. Maybe I'll make up like a bias skirt as some practice first. If you have any tips for sewing on the bias, definitely let me know. I know you want to sew with like a narrow zigzag to kind of let it drop, but other than that, yeah, I am bias cut virgin, so let me know what I need to know. The next category for sundress silhouette is a shirt dress. Now, I love the like classic crisp poplin, linen, chambray kind of thing, and I definitely have room for something like that in my closet. But what I'm like really stoked about right now is the Grainline Studio Alder. I think it's the Alder. Archer is the button-up shirt. Alder is the shirt dress. Yes. So there's two versions, and one of them is kind of that more classic shirt into shirt dress category, where it's got a nice curved hem. It's very crisp. It just like falls straight down the body. The one I really like has this like insert gathered panel. It's kind of could actually fall in the like drop waist category again. And I had a ready to wear dress that was really similar to this a few years ago. It was really badly made and it shrunk in the wash so bad, and I'm still mourning a little bit. But it's the perfect combination of having a waist seam, but it is not touching. So it gives the semblance of a shape, but when it's really hot, I really don't want anything like, I keep doing this, I feel like a monkey, but I don't want anything like touching my body there. And so I think this is really perfect in that it has that shirt collar, so it feels a little bit elevated, but really it's just like a bog dress. And I love that. I'm absolutely here for that. So I really love this. It's an old pattern, but I feel like I'm not seeing it being made up very much anymore, or maybe I missed it, especially not this version. I'd love to see some more of them. So if you've made it, let me know, because I think it's super cool. I really like it. I want to bring it on back. They updated the sizing a few years ago, so now they have their, I think it's a 0 to 20 range, and then they have a 14 to 30, I want to say, and that one has a D cup as well. So that is excellent for anything with buttons, like you got to have that full bust adjustment in there. So I really like this for something swingy and soft and drapey. So I picked a viscose from my stash that I think is hilarious. This I got, I think, for like $1 a meter at a market a few years ago. And I bought it as a toile fabric initially because I was like, this is not my style, but it's really cheap, so I'll get it. And now I'm like, this is kind of my style though, especially in a modern cut like the Alder dress, I think would be really, really cool. So it's animal print, but it's also animals print. There's like a kind of like a half black and white leopard situation, but then also these leaping tigers that are going in every direction. So it's chaotic and I love it. And I think that would be really fun to do as a shirt dress. And then it would have so much just wonderful twirlability. But I think with the right interfacing, it'll still hold the collar really good. So that is what I'm thinking for the Grainline Alder shirt dress. So my most favorite kind of dress to wear when it is hot is what I have on right now. It is just like a little strappy, mini length, basically like paper bag dress. I'm calling it, it's a shift. It's not a sheath, but a shift. Like it barely touches me, just kind of, it's a little bit fitted near the bust and then just goes away. So it's really great. I love them in linen. In the heat is my favorite thing to wear. And I love, like, even though it is not fitted silhouette wise, I think having it be like short and strappy makes me still feel like feminine and cute, but in maybe like a more like gamine kind of way. I love it. I think it's really cute. I've made lots of Helen's Closet Reynolds dresses. I feel like I really have tweaked the fit on that one by now, so I can get a really good garment out of that one. This is a retired pattern, which is such a shame, from Wearable Studio, which is no longer with us, but this was the Heidi dress. I have a couple of these, and I think it is time for me to branch out of those two patterns into one that is similar, but I always learn something new from Sew House 7. So the Sauvie dress, named after Sauvie Island in Portland, has been on my list for ages, and I think it is super cute. I never got it because I was like, oh, I have something similar, like I probably don't need it. But now I'm kind of feeling like I want like that variation. It was designed for linen fabrics. It works in other things too, but like I love a linen shift dress in the summer, so that is perfect for me. It has a double V-neck, a very similar construction here with the straps inside with a facing or a lining, I believe, and it comes in different lengths. You can also choose to put a band of elastic inside if you do want a little bit more shaping. For me, I'm like, nah, pass. It's really cute. It looks really good, but for what I want out of this kind of silhouette, like I just want something that falls off. It doesn't even touch me. So that's what I'm looking for a shift dress. I really love the Sauvie from Sew House 7. That one also has it has two size ranges. So one of them it's a B and a D cup, I believe. No, that's not true. If you purchase the paper pattern, you have to choose, but if you buy online, you get both size ranges. So that is a detail that I just found very important to tell you guys. And with that, I will show you my fabric because it's hilarious. And I've been wanting to use this for ages. It's birds. It's birds with their scientific names on them. It's an old See You at 6 print, I think from 2022. Why do I know that? I don't know. Yeah, so a 2022 See You at 6 print is what I have here. It's kind of a rougher linen, which has made me a little bit, it's a viscose linen actually. And that has kind of made me like a little bit hesitant to make it up into like a blouse or a pair of shorts, which is what I initially got it for. But I think as a dress, especially a shift dress that isn't going to like be touching me even all that much, I think it'd be really cute. And I like the little V-neck. I'll have to make sure I don't like place like a bird. I'll have to watch the bird placement. But yeah, I'm thinking a Sauvie Sew House 7 dress in this bird linen would be really fun for summer. The last one is another that you could probably accuse me of shoehorning in. I don't know that it really deserves its own silhouette category, but I couldn't not talk about this dress pattern because I really want to make it. So I've called this the drawstring dress category, and I have had drawstring dresses in the past. I've made and worn and loved the Davenport by Friday Pattern Company. That one, of course, is not sleeveless, but silhouette and shape-wise, really, really love that one. Could probably adapt that to make it sleeveless, and then it would count for this list, but I'm gonna put a pin in that one. But I've also had a ready-to-wear dress. I don't know what happened to it. I miss this dress so much. It was from the Gap. It was a tencel twill with a little, got a little drawstring, a little hidden button placket along the skirt with a curved hem. I love this dress. Anyway, I think I could potentially recreate it with the True Bias Southport dress. This dress is another one that has been out for ages, and it really just like never landed on my radar. I don't know what it is until now, and I really want to make one. It was recently re-released in both size ranges, so it not only is in their full size range, but the 14 to 30 also has a D cup option, which is the one that I would be going for. It has a half button placket, or like a half button front, just the bodice has buttons, which is super, super cute. A really nice detail for what is otherwise like a very, very simple silhouette. It comes in, I think, 2 or 3 lengths. Yeah, basically like a mini all the way down to a maxi with this long split at the side. Very cute, very practical. Not enough, like, it's basic, but it's basic executed really well. So it's one that I've overlooked for all this time, and now I think it really like needs its due. So I pulled this from my cottons shelf. It's a really fine cotton. Is it a lawn? Maybe it's a lawn, or maybe like a really thin sateen. It has a little bit of stretch to it, just a little bit, but it's really, really soft and drapey. So I think this one is more meant for like something more like a viscose or a tencel to really have just that like breeziness that is shown in all of their sample photos. I'm pretty sure they use like tencel or lyocell. I know it could work in a linen or a cotton, but you definitely want something with drape. So I think this cotton, I think it would work. I think it would work. I think it would be really nice. I love this kind of like mosaic, kind of like Grecian tile. It's definitely giving me like summer beach vibes. And then some little white buttons with this I think would be really, really cute. Some strappy sandals. I could totally see, yeah, a little vacation dress. It could still be very everyday with like some sneakers or whatever. But yeah, I'm thinking True Bias Southport is definitely on my list for this summer. So I hope you've enjoyed this little survey of the summer strappy sundress patterns that I am thinking about sewing. I will have a little think on it and hopefully come back soon with my actual summer sewing plans. But in the meantime, if you have made any of these, definitely let me know what your experience was, if you liked it, if you didn't like it, and if there's a sundress on here that you're like, hello, this is one you totally missed, definitely let me know. And of course, I always want to know what you are currently making, what's on your, either on your sewing table now or in your plans coming up as we get ready to sort of change seasons. I don't want to rush. I don't want to rush into summer, but I don't know. I'm also ready. Maybe I'm ready. I'm also really, really hot. So it feels like summer right now. So why not? Anyway, that is all from me today. I'm gonna stop talking and maybe go have some hot tea for my sad throat, which sounds awful right now because I'm really, really warm. But yeah, gonna go take care of that, and then hopefully maybe get down to my sewing machine today. Fingers crossed, if there's still time. So I'd love to know what you're working on, what you're making up, and until next time, I hope you have a wonderful week full of lots of happy making. So till next time, bye guys.